Welcome back. Today we have a word that might surprise you. It did me. We have a genius. We have quite an event. A singer-songwriter, a song, and a quote. So grab your favorite cuppa, settle in, and let's have a look. Hi there, and welcome to This Day in History for May 11th. May 11th is the 131st day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 132nd in leap years, with 234 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is stanza. Stanza is a noun that refers, as Merriam-Webster states it, to a division of a poem consisting of a series of lines arranged together as a unit, especially a group of lines arranged together in a recurring pattern of metrical lengths and usually a sequence of rhymes. That definition seems a little stiff to me, so let's rephrase it in a little bit more conversational terms. A stanza is a grouped set of lines in a poem, usually separated from other groups by a blank line. You can think of it as the poetic equivalent of a paragraph in prose. Each stanza often develops a single idea, image, feeling, or part of the poem's rhythm. A few common types of stanzas are the couplet, which consists of 2 lines, the tercet, consisting of 3 lines, the quatrain, which has 4 lines and is very common in English poetry, the cinquain, consisting of 5 lines, and the sextet, which has 6 lines. Many poems use repeated stanza patterns to create a rhythm and musicality, much like verses in a song. Example sentences could include, each stanza of the poem revealed a different stage of the traveler's journey, or the songwriter repeated the final stanza for emotional effect, or Emily Dickinson often used short, compact stanzas in her poetry. Here's a clever little couplet by a poet named Richard Armour that I read decades ago, either in a high school or college English literature class. It's called Children. I think whenever I see one, I'd rather have been than still be one. Hopefully we'll remember to talk about Richard Armour when his birthday rolls around this summer. Back to stanza, though, it can also mean a period of performing or showing in one place, as in, the play is to be held over for another stanza, or a period, such as a half or an inning, into which the duration of a game is divided. In music, people sometimes casually compare a stanza to a verse, although technically they're not always identical. In poetry, the stanza is more about structure and grouping, while in songs, the verse usually refers to a recurring lyrical section. The word stanza comes from Italian stanza, meaning room or stopping place, and that's a fitting image. Each stanza is like a little room within the larger structure of the poem. Interestingly, the same Italian root behind stanza also gave us the word stance, both carrying the idea of a place where one stops or stands. First known use of the word stanza is in the 1500s. Stanza. Today's word stanza was suggested by Odyssey viewer at Easy9. Thanks, Easy9. And if you have a word you'd like to see in this Word of the Day segment, drop it in the comments and we'll get it on the list. And with that, Minnesota was admitted as 32nd state of the United States on May 11, 1858. We talk more about that in a video that I did before, and I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to see it. This is the birthday of physicist, engineer, and Nobel Prize laureate Richard Feynman, born May 11, 1918. He was a brilliant man involved in a lot of projects. He's known for some things I sure don't understand about quantum mechanics. He developed a pictorial representation scheme for the mathematical expressions describing the behavior of subatomic particles, which came to be known as Feynman diagrams. They're still widely used. He came to be known to the wider public in the 1980s as a member of the Rogers Commission, the panel that investigated the space shuttle disaster, which is where I first heard of him. Along with his work in theoretical physics, he's been ranked as one of the greatest physicists of all times. And as I mentioned, I first became aware of him during the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster investigation. He was actually the one who figured out that it was the O-rings. The O-rings couldn't take the cold. They failed. The ship blew up. He's the one that figured it out. Richard Feynman. Richard Feynman lived to the age of 69. On May 11, 1934, a massive storm sent millions of tons of topsoil flying from across the parched Great Plains region of the United States as far east as New York, Boston, and Atlanta. Dust storms, as we call them, had started a couple years earlier and had only gotten more severe and more frequent since then. Just in 2 years' time, these dust storms drove thousands of families from the most severely affected areas. A lot of them moved west out to California, where they were known as Okies, no matter where they came from. Eventually, a change in farming practices helped, and the end of the drought in 1939 was really what helped the most. As I reviewed the events of May 11 and deciding what to talk to you about today, one of the items I came across was about Bob Marley. He'd formed a group with Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer in 1963, which ultimately became the Wailers. They released several albums and developed quite a following. In 1977, Bob Marley was found to have a malignant melanoma under the nail of a toe. He declined much more than superficial treatment, having the lesion and the toenail removed and covered with a skin graft, rather than having the toe amputated as doctors recommended and facing more aggressive treatment. Unfortunately, it did spread. He performed his last concert in September of 1980, and it was around the time of that last concert that he learned his cancer had spread throughout his body, in particular to his brain. A couple weeks shy of 8 months after that last concert, Bob Marley passed from this mortal realm on May 11, 1981, at the tender age of 36. So as I was thinking about Bob Marley, the line, "Every little thing is going to be all right," began running through my head. I looked for it, but that's not the name of the song. It's Three Little Birds. It's often thought to be named Don't Worry About a Thing or Every Little Thing is Going to Be All Right because of the prominent and repeated use of these phrases in the chorus. But it is, in fact, Three Little Birds. It's the fourth track on side 2 of their 9th album, 1977's Exodus, and was released as a single in 1980. It's one of his most popular songs and has been covered by numerous other artists. Three Little Birds by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Link in the description. How about that? For today's quote, I also have one from Bob Marley, and it is, "Love the life you live the life you love." Bob Marley. Alrighty, y'all, take care. Be good to each other. I'll see you next time. Stanza is a noun that refers, as Merriam-Webster states it, to a division of a poem. Hold on. Okay. Let's try that again. Is it tercet or tercet? Let's ask Googula. Tercet. All right. Thank you, Googula. Oh, dang, I forgot to get Minnesota's background. Hold on a sec. And with that, you're supposed to keep playing, girl. There you go.